Hey there. This is a commentary for the final presidential debate, Obama Romney 2012. And this debate basically was pretty much even, a lot more even than the previous two, and a lot less fierce than the second debate. And I would like for each candidate to have more time to explain himself and to respond to the criticism or whatever his opponent has to say. Um, Romney, has changed his stance and his tone, from being very, very conservative to being basically a moderate. He's starting to sound more like Obama. And with, two wars on, being financed by, America's wallet, basically, we don't need another war. We don't need another war for a long time to come, or for as long as you can, keep the peace. But yeah, I think the moderators should be a lot more professional and not basically, in one instance when Romney wanted to rebut to what Obama was saying, the moderator told him that he had basically had more than enough time to, make his rebuttal itself. I think there should be. It would be better if they give him just like a limited time, to basically, so that they wouldn't have they wouldn't have like 2 minute time constraints. Just give them like as much time. Not like it's not gonna be like ridiculously long, right? But give them like a decent, like a reasonable amount of time to rebut without having to be looking at the clock and having to like race to respond to whatever or say whatever you want to say. Yeah, but I think the moderators, even on the second debate, they should act a lot more professional and basically not scold the either one of the candidates. In this case, it was Romney. They were basically like slapping him on the wrist, which I don't think they should do that. But Obama is basically he says we need to do more at home, and I agree with him because the streets on like many places in America are like the infrastructure is falling apart, and the streets, everything, it's kind of getting filthier by the day. And you know I do think that we could use like a makeover for this country's infrastructure. And also, one thing I don't really like, this kind of sounds like you know before the Iraq War, how Romney is, I think, basically playing on using fear politics to kind of win votes over. And he's saying that Iran is like pretty close, or like 4 years closer to having a nuclear weapon and stuff like that. Even though some reports say that they're not even trying um, to enrich uranium or whatever to make a nuclear weapon. But I think he's and that always work. He's trying to convince the people that there's like a dire threat and that they must vote for him and act now to neutralize that threat and stuff like that. But I don't know. You have to be reasonable, and two wars already on that America had to pay for, and I don't think anybody wants another war. But yeah, this sounds like fear politics, like back into like 2003, or when the Iraq War started. Um, they didn't really want another war, but because of all the fear politics, they chose to do it, and now most people realized that it was like a major mistake. And I think that's what Romney is doing. Is trying to. He's telling you that Iran is like getting closer and closer to a nuclear bomb or whatever, and they're gonna be a lot more difficult to deal with them. It's gonna be a lot more difficult to deal with them from now on. Although a lot of their neighbors in that region have nuclear weapons, so I guess but since Iran is accused of being funding and being like a basically a safe haven for extremists. You just you just you just need to have a balance. But I don't know. I guess the balance thing would be, if your neighbors have nuclear weapons, that puts you in a very in a great disadvantage. In Iran's case, and if a war were to break up, they would be obliterated basically, by their neighbors because they do have nuclear weapons. But I don't know. Maybe you just need to, you know, sometimes butting out of people's business, also works. But I think we've had enough war for now. For the last decade and this decade that these wars have been ongoing through this decade. So yeah, Romney, he wants to help the rich. I think they ought to tax the rich. Because the rich, even if they charge them like a higher percentage of taxes, they're still way above the poverty line. It's not like their life is in danger. It's just that they're gonna have to pay a little bit more. But they've actually been paying less in when it comes to percentage, less than the average you know income earner. And yeah, so I guess just the best thing you can do is, you know I'm not a Republican. I'm not a red Democrat. I'm just an thinking independent voter. And I vote for whoever I think is best for the country. Um, and in this case, I think that would be Obama probably, because we need some work being done here in the homeland and not basically overseas. But the best thing you can do is just do your own research, and then do your own research, and then make an informed decision, and then give your vote to whoever you think is the best person, the best candidate. Keep in mind that voting, supporting a political party, or basically a political party, because most people define, or a lot of people define themselves as a Republican or Democrat. Now, supporting a political party is not like supporting your favorite football team, where you can support them all the way 100% of the time. Your favorite football team is not going to legislate and decide on how it basically you live your life. It's not going to affect the way you live your life, but political party does. So you have to take it a lot more seriously. But there's a lot of people that basically do that. They support their political party blindly with they don't really do any research or any of that. Um, and they'll just vote for whoever they were raised to support, or whatever. Um, what else? So yeah, I don't like the fear politics, and I think more of the budget ought to be spent here helping America, and not so much on the military, on defense. Because America already spends money than last time I checked. They spend more money on the military or on defense than all of the other countries combined, or like Obama said, more than the top 20 military spenders. The United States spends more money than all of them combined. So I think we could actually take a break from Al Qaeda and all these extremist groups. They have been weakened, so we can actually take a break from military spending and do some give that money to some other areas that the country needs more support. Basically like healthcare and rebuilding infrastructure and education and all that. So yeah, Romney he should have had he should have stuck to his guns, and he should have had a consistent campaign and a consistent basically philosophy. And Obama shouldn't have basically deceived people. He's kind of deceitful, and gotten involved in Libya and all these other places. But that's pretty much my take on the presidential debate. I don't like the fear politics. I think the fear politics, we got more than enough of them back in when the Iraq War started, which most people agree it's a mistake, and we don't need any more of that. The fear politics. Um, so yeah, I'm sure all those soldiers don't want to go die over there or risk their lives in Iran if a war were to break out.